Modern weapons reconstructors are now piecing together the combat weapons and armor ancient Greek forces developed.
The most distinctive element of the equipment I'm carrying is probably the helmet. This particular one represents the final evolution of this style of helmet, which is a Corinthian. And it's very distinctive because of the very long cheek pieces at the front and closed face, which protects you when you're fighting against the enemy, because you would have a big shield across your front.
Greek war engineers manufactured a style of helmet that maximized the wearer's critical senses of vision and hearing.
And during the Persian Wars, the ability to give command and control was very important. And with the earlier pattern helmets, that was closed off, so it's like wearing a seashell on your head. All you hear is the sea going round, so people point you at the enemy and give you a big push. Within the later periods, people had to hear what was going on.
In response to the developing arms race, Greek metallurgists needed to construct armor that withstood the deadly firepower that was now developing on the battlefields. One innovation used composite materials in an ingenious system to protect warriors in combat. Incredibly, the armor consisted of a high-intensity fiber material that Greek engineers designed to withstand metal-tipped arrows.
What we've got here is a liner thorax, a lin thorax, which is made up of layers of linen glued together. In fact, this one's got 14 layers of linen with a leather core in the middle. It's lighter than metal armour. It moulds itself to your body when it's warm, but it is very, very hard and very, very protective. In many ways, it's akin to modern Kevlar body armour.
We used a composite bow at point-blank range to test the strength of Linothorax technology.
Oh, that'll hurt. Well, I'm actually quite pleased with that, because that was at point-blank range. Remember, this is only cloth that's stopping this arrow. So at a normal combat range, I think that's about the best they could expect for. The fact it punched through, lucky shot.
Despite using a composite bow with a draw weight of 160 pounds, hitting at 90 miles per hour, only the tip of the arrow has penetrated. Greek war engineers would also use composite materials to build shields. In Athens Museum, a unique fresco survives of a figure of 8 shields that was used at the time of the Trojan Wars.
You can see how it covers all of my body. I'm well protected behind this with the disc shape, but the cutouts allow me to use the spear, which is the heroic weapon of the Homeric age. This is the weapon that Achilles is using. Held in here, I've still got movement and can fight while I'm protected.
The reason the shield was so effective is because of the way it was constructed.
It's light, it's incredibly light, because it's made of wicker, willow, like a basket, tightly packed, tightly woven, very resilient, a little bit of flexibility to absorb impact, but very light and very mobile. With this shoulder strap here, slung on my body, it's no problem at all to fight with, and then a skin of leather just to reinforce that wicker, that willow, but we don't know how tough it's going to be against arrows.
For the first time in nearly 3 millennia, we put this marvel of ancient technology to the test. Even at point-blank range, the arrow has failed to penetrate the shield because of its ingenious construction. The beauty of its technology would also allow warriors to make running repairs. We now know that the ancient armies were equipped with armor that used cutting-edge fiber technology to defend itself against powerful infantry weapons. But there's more. Another recent discovery points to the ancients being well versed with these advanced technologies. A stunning discovery in 1960 would confirm the true sophistication of ancient Greek warfare metallurgy in weaponry. This rare footage shows an extraordinary find near Mycenae in mainland Greece. Archaeologists uncovered this amazingly well-preserved type of armor that protected warriors over 3,000 years ago. This highly advanced piece of military armor was known as the Dendra Panoply. Even today, it rivals modern armament design.
Originally, it would have had a helmet, shoulder guards, body guard, thigh guards. It would have been incredibly difficult to use. Very heavy, hard to move around.
Consisting of 15 separate pieces of bronze sheets, the dendra panoply weighed about 35 pounds.
The armour used by Homeric heroes was probably quite effective. The dendra panoply indicates the power, the strength of this protective equipment.
The bronze sheets were designed to overlap one another for maximum protection and were clamped together by super strong fibers through holes as small as 2 millimeters. But how successful would it be against the deadly hail of firepower unleashed by the Trojans? One of the enduring mysteries of the Battle of Troy is how did the Greeks sustain a siege for so many years without the destruction of its army as they tried to penetrate the walls of the mighty city? In 1960, a remarkable archaeological find would cause us to rethink our perception of the sophistication of armor at the time of the Trojan War. Virtually no body armor from the time of the siege of Troy has survived. However, excavations by Swedish archaeologists of a chambered tomb at Dendra in Greece would uncover an amazingly preserved full set of bronze armor that was contemporary with the warriors of the Greek forces besieging the Trojan walls. The main weapon used from any distance during the Trojan Wars was the bow and arrow. But would the dendra panoply be able to protect a warrior from an archer's bow? For the first time in over 3 millennia, we pit a champion archer against Mycenae armor, and we filmed it in ultra-slow motion.
Well, that was fantastic. This arrow tried to burrow its way through, and it's managed to penetrate 1/2 inch, and it's dented and mangled the head of the arrow there. Would have shocked him, but it wouldn't have hurt the man at all.
Even using the armor-piercing bodkin, champion archer Mike Ashington failed to cause significant damage to the panoply. Amazingly, although Mike's third shot also strikes the edge of the panoply, it glances off, snapping off the arrowhead without leaving so much as a mark on the shiny bronze surface. Another superb shot finds its target right on the heart, but yet again the arrow fails to do more than puncture the outer layer of the bronze armor plate.
There's no way this guy's been hurt. He's been shocked, he's been terrified, but he's not hurt. He's still living to fight another day.
But what would it have been like having to wear this kind of armor?
It would have been incredibly difficult to use. Very heavy, hard to move around. Most fighting happens in the summer when the temperatures are over 100. You couldn't actually have worn it, let alone fought in it for long, before suffering from heat exhaustion. The warriors who would use it would be chariot-borne. They wouldn't actually have to walk or run around much. It's a trade-off between mobility, usability, and its primary function, defense.
The original helmet was constructed from boar's tusks, confirming the Homeric tradition of warriors constructing their helmets from hunting trophies. Ours is made with bone sewn onto a leather cap using linen thread or sinew. It is both malleable and very protective. Despite using a leaf head arrow, which was able to cleave one of the bone plates in two, the armor flexed, absorbing the force. Even hit at point-blank range, the warrior would have survived the strike.
Yes! Of course, this is the vulnerable part of this sort of armor. He managed to find the gap. It's gone through, broken the edge of the plate, through the leather lining. That really is a bad day.
Champion archer Mike Ashington failed to cause significant damage. But powerful infantry weapons and armor would not be enough for King Agamemnon to penetrate the fortress of Troy.